Hey everybody, it's Professor Williams, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your first course project coming up this week. So if you scroll down to the course project section of Canvas, you'll see everything posted for project number 1, which is data visualization. That's the material that you covered in chapter 4 last week. So you'll see the PDF document, project 1, that's your instructions. Then there's a data file, which is an Excel workbook, a location for you to submit, and then I've created a discussion where you can go and ask questions specifically related to project number 1. When you open the document, you're going to see a fairly lengthy set of instructions. So it's important when we think about being data analysts or business analysts that we're able to visualize data through charts, graphs, and infographics because what they do is they help us to simplify complex information, and we're able to see patterns and trends so much more easily. So what you're going to end up doing is you've been given an Excel workbook that contains 4 data sets. So you're going to construct visualizations from each of those 4 data sets. The 4 parts of the project are worth 25 points apiece. So you're going to need to download that Excel file and then make sure that you've activated your Tableau account. I'll show you that information in Canvas. The instructions are specific in whether I want you to use Excel or Tableau, so please be sure that you're using the right software. There are videos in Canvas that demonstrate just about everything you're going to do. And when you're done, you're going to submit your workbook that has your charts and then a separate document with your written responses, which are the interpretation or analysis of the graphics and visualizations you've created. When you're writing up your answers to the questions, I want you to imagine that the person you're giving this to, first of all, hasn't taken this class, but more than that, doesn't understand anything about data analysis and has never seen this type of chart and graph before. So an example of the type of instructions I've given you is in number 2, we have some information on defective parts that were manufactured during 3 different shifts at Gearworks. And so for this one, in part A, you're going to use Excel to construct a contingency table that cross-classifies the data by shift and whether or not the part was defective. And you can use either a pivot table or a COUNTIF function in Excel for that. Then in the subpart I want you to tell me, does there appear to be a connection between when the part was fabricated and whether or not it's defective? That's not a yes or no answer because I then say explain. So I'm looking for a short paragraph that's well crafted that demonstrates your ability to interpret the contingency table. Then using the same data set, I want you to construct a stacked column chart, and for that I want you to use Tableau. You'll see that I've given you a reference in your book. So for instance, a stacked column chart in Tableau can be found in example 4.3 in appendix 4.1, and that will help you construct the chart. I also gave you a hint to make sure that you change your shifts to dimensions in order to get your 3 columns. And then the last part, I want you to interpret the defect data, and that's based on both your contingency table and your column chart. Are the defect rates consistent across all the shifts? Not a yes or no answer. I want you to explain. If you see an inconsistency in the defect rates, why do you think there's an inconsistency? Again, a couple of well-crafted sentences that let me know that you understand the visualization of the defect data. You'll see here in Canvas that if you go to the module labeled Tableau, you'll have your instructions to activate your subscription. And this is no cost to you. So you're simply going to follow these instructions and then activate your subscription with the product key that I've provided. If you have questions or concerns, you can always email me or post to the discussion, but this should go pretty smoothly. Then what you'll see is some student resources, a link to the Tableau site for common chart types, and then a link of a series of 6 or 7 videos. These are my videos that step you through creating a scatter plot, heat map, bubble plot, etc. Then, if you'll come down to your Chapter 4 module, you'll see that I have videos that correspond to working in Excel. And again, these are my videos, and they're just showing you how to do a heat map, how to do a contingency table, how to do line charts, bubble plots, using Excel as the tool. Remember, if the instructions say create the chart in Tableau, that's what I'm looking for. If it says create the chart in Excel, then that's what I'm looking for. And then this is just a quick look at the type of data that you're going to get. So for your bubble plot, you're going to use salary and experience, and you'll see that the data is labeled by worksheet, and then your data appears inside of the workbook. So you don't need to do any type of data entry, just use what I've provided. So once you have your Excel workbook complete with all of your charts and graphs, and you have your Word document or PDF file with the responses to the questions for the project, you can simply come down to submit, and then you'll be able to upload your file attachments. If you need to upload more than 2 files, that's fine. If you upload and find out that you had something you wanted to redo, that's fine as well. It's an unlimited number of submissions, and I will always grade your most recent submission. Remember, these projects take the place of exams, and so they're fairly heavily weighted on your course grade, and so I'm looking for your very best work. And then finally, just a couple of hints. One place that I see students lose points is they don't properly label their graphs. Your X, your Y axis should always be labeled with a variable name. You need to always double check that the scale of your graphs and charts is appropriate for the data. You need to give your chart or graph a title. So don't lose points for those small kind of quote-unquote housekeeping items, and maximize your return on the investment of your valuable time. I'm confident that everybody can do a great job. I look forward to your questions, but more than that, I look forward to seeing your work. Until next time.